What's going on, you all? Coach Reese here, Practicality Fitness, Harvest, Alabama. I'm gonna bring you your second instructional video on how to throw the two or the cross in boxing. Let's get right to it. The first thing we're gonna do is get a quick refresher on your actual boxing guard. If you're like me and I'm right-handed, you call it orthodox, which means your right foot will be slightly off and behind to your rear. Your left foot will be in the front. A bad habit for a lot of athletes who ran track or played football is you guys turn your feet forward here. You don't want to do that because you're not moving narrow when you're in boxing. You turn your feet outwards. So your right hand is back, boom, on the side of your face. Left hand is lead. So make sure that you've got this stance here and your heel is not on the ground. Some boxing coaches do teach to keep your heel on the ground. I'm not one of those guys. So I make sure that my right foot is slightly lifted off the ground, not all the way up here, but just slightly lifted. So make sure that you have this stance right here when it comes to your boxing guard. Another look at your feet from another closer stance on the camera. My feet are here. So my heel is slightly lifted, and the reason your foot is slightly lifted in the back, for anybody who has not explained it, is so you can actually move and pivot. So your back foot, when it's down, it becomes a parking brake. You have to re-lift your back foot up to be able to move and pivot. So you don't want it flat in the first place, because what happens is you have to pick up the parking brake to move. If I'm already up off the parking brake, I can simply move and pivot. So I don't have to pick it up and go each time, all right? So your boxing stance here, knees slightly bent, boom, maybe a ½ inch shorter than what I traditionally am. So if I'm 6'3", then I'll be 6'2 and a half, 6'2" when I box. And my feet are here. They're not pointed to the front like I'm getting ready to run a receiver route or anything like that. I'm here. Therefore, I'm set to go. In order to throw an effective two or a cross in boxing, it is very important to understand power and kinetics and how punching power is actually channeled from the bottom up and ejected through your hand. A lot of people don't understand punching power and how there are multiple systems that go into it. So let's get that down first. So the kinetics out of a boxing punch, I'll turn this way because you'll see it more so. Your feet actually send up, boom, the pressure that comes through your legs. And then you rotate through your core. And then actually your hands and your arms do the least work. So what you have to do is make sure that you dig into the ground, kind of like putting a cigarette out, and I don't smoke, but putting the cigarette out, or turning some gum off of your foot, or whatever the case is. So you sit in your guard, and if you notice, my right foot and my hip are going to move maybe a millisecond before I actually project the two. So you'll hear a slight dig on the ground before my hand even projects towards my opponent. So once again, what happens is, as I turn my foot, I'm pressing, sending pressure up through my legs. Through my legs, my hip must rotate. A lot of combat work is done in the core, rotary. And I'll get to that point in a minute, why you need to get to that rotary core point. So turn the foot, the legs, the hip, and then it channels through the arm. Notice I'm still staying centered between my quads. You don't see me throwing my head over. I can catch a nasty check hook that way by delivering the meal, which is my head at that point, to them. So what you want to do is act as if there is a pole or something stuck in your head, and all you can do is swivel. All right, boxing punches are cyclonic, kind of like a tornado or whatever the case is. It's spiraling up. So as you spiral up, you twist and you eject through the fist there. You keep your head centered between your legs. You don't throw forward and lean forward, therefore you'll be off balance, all right? The punch projection itself. When you come off of that face after you've sent your cyclone up from your feet through your hips, when you come out, you've got to twist those knuckles. Those two knuckles right there line up nice and perfectly with the wrist bone and coming up the arm. Those two small ones, easy to break. And it's not Jeet Kune Do, so you're not doing the Bruce Lee cover from, his books or whatnot. So you twist out from the feet, boom, and turn your hand over. Right there, notice my left hand stays on my face to protect, and I'm kind of sandwiched between my shoulder and my fist. So once again, it's rotational. You don't see me bringing my head to you or anything. My head is stuck right here like there's a pole in my head and I can't move. So you got to learn how to swivel and use your reach and make sure that you have a good core rotation so you can actually get the full range of motion right there when you turn that fist over. So that's your cross. Boom, boom, right there. And you still hear my foot turn at the bottom to make sure it's effective. If you don't hear that foot turn, you're not actually punching. A quick retouch and a quick kind of statement as far as why it's important for you to develop your core rotational strength and your core rotational power. You know, a lot of training systems, especially here in the States with the beauty pageant, which is, you know, bodybuilding being, you know, the pinnacle of fitness or whatever, a lot of people lack rotational or still lack rotational core strength, you know, and rotary strength and movement and rotary flexibility, because every method that's used in general gyms is a straight movement. When you bench press, you're straight. When you lat pull, you're straight. When you do pull-ups, you're straight. When you do overhead shoulder presses, you're straight. Any exercise, it's straight. Squat, straight. Leg press, straight. Rotation is where the development of combat strength is. So you've got to make sure that you're doing exercises like Russian twist, medicine ball tosses, sledgehammer tire slams and drags. You've got to make sure that you're getting your rotational development in, because what happens is you could have very strong legs and a very good foundation right there, but if you can't turn over that core and rotate your power that you're sending up through the ground, through your core, so it can be released and channeled through your hands, you're going to be in trouble. You're not going to be able to throw punches like you need to. Your combat training is going to be lacking, so make sure that you develop your rotational core strength and your rotational core flexibility. And finally, practicality. Everybody can't wait to, you know, throw the 2 on the bag. The 2 is a power shot, so you want to make sure that you turn your hands over properly. Boom. As you rotate through that bag, right there. Boom. As you see, my head's not getting any closer to the bag. I'm turning my hand over. I'm keeping my other hand up to protect. Boom. That's the 2 right there. Don't worry about throwing it hard right now. Please don't worry about throwing it hard, because a lot of you all can hyperextend your elbow if you haven't kind of perfected finding your range off of your jab first, all right? So don't even throw the cross until you've touched and measured with the jab. The jab is your measuring stick to make sure that you're in range to throw anything behind it. So before you even throw that 2, put your 1 out there. Make sure that you're in range, and then follow through, all right? Once again, I measure the bag, because if I measure right here, I can't touch it. As you see, I can overcorrect and touch it because I have good, you know, torso mobility. But if I'm not, I can throw my elbow out. So make sure that you measure first, boom, and release. Got it? Once again, release. Make sure you twist and rotate. And that's how you throw the 2 or the cross in boxing. Keep in mind that I am orthodox. So anything that I'm saying with my right hand will be the exact opposite for someone who is southpaw. I hope this video helps you guys out a lot as far as developing technique for boxing. If you have any questions or you want any videos shot regarding anything that you want to develop or you want to work on, don't hesitate to email me, info@propheletics.fit. Also, if you like this video and if you enjoy content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You want anything else shot as far as boxing or capoeira, make sure you put that in there too, because like I said before, I am a first professor for Mado and capoeira as well. So if you guys want anything shot, any content or anything, let me know. I'll make sure that I get as detailed as possible, because I am a form junkie. I can't stand trash form, so therefore I won't teach you trash form either. So let's get this going, baby. I appreciate you all tuning in.